Backstage chaos erupted the moment the RAW cameras cut to black, and what Jacob Fatu did next has the entire WWE locker room speechless. If this is your first time joining us, I encourage you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to always get update. Because tonight's story is one you will not want to miss a second of. CM Punk walked out of RAW as WWE Champion, riding the kind of high that only a handful of superstars ever get to feel in their entire careers. The crowd was still buzzing. Fireworks were still fading in the rafters. But while fans at home were celebrating the moment, something entirely different was unfolding just steps away from the curtain, and it had nothing to do with celebration at all. Sources backstage say Jacob Fatu was pacing near the trainer's room, arms crossed, jaw locked, watching a monitor as Punk lifted that title over his head. And according to multiple crew members who witnessed it firsthand, Fatu did not look impressed. He looked furious. The moment Punk stepped through the curtain, still catching his breath, still soaked in adrenaline, Fatu was already moving toward him. No handlers stepped in fast enough. No producers saw it coming. And within seconds, the backstage area that's usually filled with handshakes and congratulations turned into something far more tense. Witnesses claim Fatu got directly in Punk's face, and the first words out of his mouth were loud enough for nearby staff to hear clearly. He reportedly said that title means nothing until it's been through him. Not around him. Through him. Punk, according to those same sources, didn't back down for even a second. He apparently smiled, the same smirk fans have seen 1,000 times on live television, and told Fatu that he's beaten legends, he's beaten monsters, and he's not afraid of a man who hides behind a mask of intimidation instead of results. That's when things escalated fast. Fatu allegedly shoved a nearby equipment case out of his path, sending it crashing into the wall, the loud bang echoing down the hallway, and stopping several other wrestlers dead in their tracks. People came running from catering, from gorilla position, from the trainer's room, all trying to figure out what in the world was happening just minutes after one of the biggest championship moments of the year. And this is where the story gets even more intense. Sources say Roman Reigns was nearby, watching the entire confrontation unfold, but he did not step in. He did not try to calm Fatu down. Instead, he reportedly stood back with his arms folded, almost like he wanted to see how far this would go. That detail alone has insiders buzzing, because if Roman Reigns isn't stepping in to protect the locker room's order, what does that say about where his loyalties actually stand right now? Some backstage personnel believe Reigns may have quietly given Fatu the green light to make a statement. Others think Reigns was simply testing Punk, watching to see how the new champion would handle real pressure outside the ring, away from the cameras, away from the crowd. Either way, the silence from Reigns speaks louder than anything he could have said out loud. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman reportedly rushed into the hallway the moment he heard the commotion, visibly alarmed, trying to get between the two men. But according to someone who was standing just feet away, Heyman's presence didn't calm anything down. If anything, it made Fatu even more heated. Fatu allegedly turned toward Heyman and said something that stunned everyone in earshot. He accused Heyman of protecting whoever benefits him most at any given moment, switching allegiances like a man reading the wind instead of a man with any real conviction. For someone who has spent years by Roman Reigns' side, hearing that kind of accusation thrown at him in front of half the roster had to sting. Heyman reportedly didn't fire back right away. He just stood there for a moment, and multiple people say the look on his face was one they had never seen before. Not anger, not offense. Something closer to genuine uncertainty, like even he wasn't sure anymore which side he was truly on. Now here's where the story takes an even wilder turn. According to two separate sources, Solo Sikoa was watching all of this from a distance, standing near the equipment trucks with his arms crossed, saying absolutely nothing. But the moment Fatu turned to walk away from the confrontation, Solo reportedly stepped directly into his path. For a moment, nobody moved. The tension in that hallway must have been suffocating. Two of the most dominant, most physically intimidating men on the entire roster standing face to face, and nobody backstage knew whether this was about to turn into an actual fight. Then, according to what was described, Solo said something low, something only Fatu could hear, and whatever it was, it made Fatu stop completely still. His fists reportedly unclenched. His shoulders dropped just slightly. And after a tense few seconds, he stepped aside, and let Solo pass without another word. What did Solo say? Nobody backstage seems to know for certain, and that mystery alone has people talking nonstop. Was it a warning? Was it a reminder of loyalty? Was it something about the bloodline's past that only the two of them would understand? Whatever it was, it worked, and it worked instantly. Punk, for his part, reportedly used that moment to walk away, title still in hand, heading straight for his locker room without looking back. But before he got there, one more incident allegedly occurred that has fans absolutely losing their minds since the story broke. According to a production assistant who asked not to be named, Punk stopped just before turning the corner, turned back toward the hallway where Fatu was still standing, and said one final thing loud enough for several people to hear. He reportedly said that if Fatu wants this title so badly, he shouldn't wait for an official match. He should come and take it right now, right here, in front of everyone. For a moment, it looked like Fatu was actually going to charge at him. His entire body reportedly tensed up like a predator about to strike. But security, finally reacting after everything that had already happened, moved in fast enough to create separation before things turned physical. Fatu allegedly shouted something as he was being pulled back, something about how this isn't over, and how Punk better enjoy holding that title while he still can, because it won't be his for long. That single sentence has now become the center of speculation across the entire wrestling community. Is this confirmation that Fatu is about to be inserted into the championship picture immediately? Is creative planning a confrontation on the very next episode of Raw? Or is this something bigger, something involving the entire bloodline structure shifting because Fatu no longer wants to wait his turn? Because let's be honest, Jacob Fatu has been positioned as one of the most dominant, most terrifying forces in WWE for months now. Fans have watched him tear through opponents with a level of intensity that feels almost uncontrollable. And now, watching Punk walk out with that championship, something inside Fatu clearly snapped. Some insiders believe this altercation was completely unplanned, a real, raw, emotional reaction from a competitor who feels he was overlooked for a championship opportunity he believes he has earned. Others believe every second of it, from Reigns staying silent, to Heyman's shaken reaction, to Solo's mysterious intervention, was carefully orchestrated to set up one of the most explosive storylines WWE has built in years. And if that's true, then what we witnessed backstage wasn't just a heated moment. It was the opening chapter of a war that's about to consume the entire championship picture. Think about what's at stake here. CM Punk, a man who has already conquered nearly everything this industry has to offer, now has to defend a title against a man who doesn't just want to win. Jacob Fatu doesn't compete for glory. He competes for dominance. And after what happened in that hallway, it's clear this isn't going to be a normal championship rivalry. This is personal. Now here's something to think about while you're reading through the comments below. Do you remember which championship Jacob Fatu held before his current run on the main roster? The title that first proved just how dominant he could be against any opponent put in front of him? Drop your answer in the comments, and let's see who actually remembers. And here's your second question. Before CM Punk's most recent title victory, how many total reigns did he have with a world championship across his entire WWE career? Type your guess below, because some of you are going to be shocked once the real number comes out. While you're thinking that over, let's talk about what this means moving forward, because the implications here are massive. If Roman Reigns truly did stand back and allow this confrontation to happen without stepping in, that raises serious questions about his current position within the bloodline and vision dynamic. Is he distancing himself from Fatu's aggression, letting him operate independently? Or is he quietly pulling strings from behind the scenes, using Fatu as a weapon while keeping his own hands clean? And what about Paul Heyman? A man who has built his entire career on knowing exactly which side to stand on at exactly the right moment. If Fatu's accusation actually rattled him, even for a second, that could be the first crack in an alliance that fans have trusted for years. Heyman doesn't get shaken easily. The fact that he reportedly did says everything about how serious this situation has become. Then there's Solo Sikoa, the wild card in all of this. His willingness to step directly between Fatu and Punk, and whatever he said to instantly defuse the tension, suggests he still holds influence that even Fatu respects. But for how long? If Fatu's hunger for that championship keeps growing, will Solo's word even matter the next time these two cross paths? And finally, there's CM Punk himself, the man now sitting at the center of all this chaos. He didn't back down. He didn't hide behind security. He looked Jacob Fatu directly in the eye and dared him to make a move. That kind of fearlessness is exactly why fans have followed his career for so long. But it's also exactly the kind of confidence that could get him into serious trouble against someone as unpredictable as Fatu. Because make no mistake, Jacob Fatu is not the kind of competitor who waits patiently for his opportunity. He takes it. And after everything that unfolded backstage tonight, it feels less like a question of if he gets his championship match, and more like a question of how soon and how much destruction happens before he gets there. Every single person involved in this story, Reigns, Heyman, Solo, Punk, and Fatu himself, is now tangled in a situation that could completely reshape the championship landscape heading into the next few months. Alliances that once felt unbreakable are showing cracks. Loyalties that fans assumed were locked in stone are suddenly being questioned. And at the center of it all is a title that Jacob Fatu has made painfully clear he will not stop chasing until it's around his own waist. So here's what we know for certain right now. CM Punk left that building as WWE Champion, but he did not leave that building in peace. Jacob Fatu made sure of that. And whatever happens next, whether it's an official announcement, a surprise attack, or a full-blown declaration of war on the next episode of Raw, one thing is absolutely certain. This rivalry is only just beginning, and it has the potential to become one of the most intense championship feuds this company has seen in years. Make sure you're subscribed and ready, because when this story continues, and it absolutely will, you're going to want to be here for every single moment of it.